using
You could always put it on and try it.
you need to get this over figure, and then he's 360
changing
that camera, and that's going to cost you at least 500 quid.
So Photo Mechanic is one of the best programs for sorting, culling and doing all your star rating and everything. We used to use Photo Mechanic in the press days to quickly get images, do the metadata and then send it off to the press. So with Photo Mechanic you would use that to import your pictures into the file where you wanted it. So I'm doing wedding, the detail shots, dress, shoes, I'm doing all the table details, all details get a 3-star. That way, if a venue, I always contact the venue after every wedding and I ask them if they're interested in buying any of the shots from the day, the detail shots, because they like them on their website to advertise weddings. So I always normally strike a deal and yeah, no problem. So I can go to my 5-star and then I can just go to your search, and if I put in there A9 and 85mm, it will then show me all the images that have been shot with my A9 with 85mm. So these have
Photics.
So these have special effects built into them as well. So if you're a videographer, then you'll love these because you can actually simulate fire or police.
Oh, cool.
So when, so do you know, say you're doing a video and then outside you want to simulate like the police and you're going to add a siren later. So if you put it onto the police, it'll start doing the flashing of the blue outside, so it looks like the police has just pulled up, and then you can add in the siren afterwards. Here's my speed lights. I use the round-headed speed lights. So again, you can go by a square speed, not a square, rectangle. You know what I mean, a standard speed light, and it's very harsh as we were talking about. As it goes off, you'll have a hot spot in the centre and then it's jagged as it comes off. If you fire against a white wall, it's very apparent. Now this speed light is matched to this room, it's at 3000 Kelvin, so every flash it does, it'll be the same as in there. If I want to grid it, then I can grid it. Now there's a 20% grid on it, so now when I fire it's just going to be on you. So if I'm literally just doing a shot of a bride and groom, I've normally got 2 of these, so this could be my key light, so I'm just lighting up the face, and then maybe I've got another one that's in the background, that's going to be either hair light or maybe I'm lighting up all of the background. So yeah, it's nice lighting on black and white. You're welcome to come round the front there if you want, yeah, feel free.
It's not very light to take them, take a home and stuff.
Back there, and we would bring that down. I'll just make a little adjustment. You'll probably find that that's a lot better from. That's what she was doing. That's what right, I think like some of these are fine.
Then your cables on?
Yes, I only used your lights that were on here, so
Take the areas down.
yes. Yes. So for everyone that wants to have a look as well,
Yes, what you were saying, wasn't it?
And everyone's vlog video on there. There's some views. So I could get it.
I have changed it.
put 3300 in.
53.
It's the same, and then the car just twist it and lift up.
So that's how you do it. Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's more like golden.
Once you've initially done the setup and you've got your peaking all on,
It's what I do see a lot of people, so we stood in the same position. I'll get a shot in a minute. All this paparazzi in front here.
That's what I was using. You try that one, get sweet spot, centre spot on focus. So, yeah, so pop it out.
I was going to shoot this for a client. I'm going to come and sit just next to you here in the middle of these. Now, looking directly at me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Right, I'll let you do all your last shots and then I'm going to change.
I don't mind manual focus, but it's.
So, speed lights. They're brilliant things, but they're old and outdated. Luckily now, we're starting to come into more of a modern world, and what separates us is the way that we shoot and how we perceive things. Some people like to overexpose. So when I shoot film, the first thing I do is I set my ISO and I overexpose all film by 2 stops. So if I'm using a 400 speed, I always tell the camera that's 800. So it overexposes because film takes, that film looks better for overexposing. I kind of overexpose when I'm shooting him manual because I've actually set it inside. You can go into the camera and tell it that you want to overexpose by however many stops, but mine overexposed by 0.7. So every time I'm thinking to stop, it's slightly overexposing. And it's just for the way I shoot, because I shoot to the right of a histogram, so I shoot for the highlights, which puts everything darker. So if I just overexpose a little bit, you're going to take it up slightly as well. Now, there's 2 little health and safety factors that are going to be in this. When you're using umbrellas, all the weight's always on one side of it. So the best thing to do is to always have your foot on the back, because then the weight is supporting the back. But with an umbrella, I don't really look at where this is going. Now it's got a built-in pointer, so I know if this shaft is pointing the subject that it's actually in the right place. Then it's pretty much as easy as that. So you can literally. It's just a go-to if you just need a softbox. So with flash, let's go. Let's knock it down to. So the great thing with ProPro, you can either have the really complicated trigger that goes on the top, it's got all these millions of buttons and pretty pictures on it, which I haven't got a clue how it all works, or you can have this one, which is, with these 2 things it does, it's auto or manual, and that's kind of it. So best feature in the world. So let's just see what this gives us, and we will go from what the picture takes. See how that flash changed, the TTL, when I took it at the floor, because the floor is grey, see how it threw out more flash, and now we took it here, see how the flash powers. I'm going to put it down a whole stop to see. It's the wrong way to do things, but I'm just going to do a whole stop so that I can show you the reason why. Perfect, so nice. You can just buy a standard umbrella, it costs about £7. If you go downstairs and pick up a standard shoot-through umbrella, it would be about £7 to £10. Okay? If you want to get a more upper-class one, like a Lasterlight one, it's probably no more than £15. So they do a brilliant job, but they can do more than what you think. So this is a ProPhoto umbrella. You can buy similar ones that have no name makes, and again they'll do the same job. The only difference with this is it uses carbon fibre rods, as where your standard one would probably just be the standard steel rods in it. So it can be really nice. nice soft light. Makes sense? Yeah, cool. So I'm going to set this up, and then the more you have, the more it complicates your shoot. The less you have, the easier your shoot's going to be. So if you go out, if you buy all these soft boxes, umbrellas and lights, all you're ever going to want to do is use them. So every time you have a shoot, you're going to be, I'm going to use this light, I'm going to put it here, I'll put that softbox on it, and you're only putting the softbox on it because you want to use it, not for the job that it's going to actually do. That's where it gives off really soft light, beautiful, nice and easy to do. That's why I use it. It doesn't need to be expensive. This could even be a £15 umbrella off Amazon. That's really cheap and nasty, but who cares? As long as it does that same job, then that's all that matters. Sorry, WEX, for, you know. A little stepping stone of new content going on over the next 3 months. So, all on brand new stuff, kit, and mostly on how-tos as well. So it starts as a theme. We're doing wedding photography first, then we're doing portraits, we're doing street photography, someone said about, yeah. So we're doing like approach to street photography, so yeah, it should be exciting. Street photography on film, we did it in New York as well. Cool. But I just need to edit it and get it all up online, so it should be good fun. Right, I just want to do another quick couple of shots. So this is twice as bright as the little one. So that's how it works. It goes up in brightness, and then there's another one up from this, and that one's twice as bright as this one.
So the batteries are optional on that?
Yeah, yeah. So it comes with all the main stuff, so you can plug it in, and they call them V-locks, what you put the battery on the back. And yeah, I mean, look how thin that is.
What one's that called?
So this is the EOS, so A and then EOS, so the EOS. So it's really thin. Again, on this, it's got the little grooves, so you can put all the filters all on the front and lock it all in. They all come, you can get barn doors for them all. You can put grids in them. And even this one, this is so powerful, you have to put it inside there, and then it would light all of that just as this flash is doing. But again, it's softer light because it's bigger as well. So nice, not cheap, but yeah.
$7.99.
I can give you 10% off. So they're not cheap, but if you're doing a lot of work with them, then they do come in very handy. So especially if you're doing a lot of studio work and lighting people. So a lot of headshot photographers buy these. So there's a headshot photographer in New York. All he uses is LED lighting to light all of these shoots with, but he uses panels. So the panels are quite large, like that in length. One panel is probably worth about $2,500. So that, it does have a purpose, it's light. Because I travel abroad, when I take a stand with me, then I'll take the carbon fibre one because it's a lot lighter, because obviously weight is at a premium when you're travelling. Shadows, and it's the shadows that creates the three-dimensional look. So when you look at first and they don't just look flat and boring, it actually, like, oh my god, you know, that's brilliant how you've done that. Some of these pictures on here, it's the light that creates the three-dimensional look of it. The dress is probably one of the biggest things, because without it, that would just look like a flat image. But the way the light is lifting all the dress up, you can sort of get a dimension for the dress and how big the dress is. So that's why we use shadows to do that with us. Yeah, as well this, we've got some degree of control because the light source is going into the umbrella and it's coming out.
Yeah.
So we can control it with the edge here. So it's a medium, so it's about 120.
Is the shoot?
But not one hole is drilled straight through, it's drilled at an angle. Yeah, it's as simple as that. If you put it in the wrong way, your umbrella will be at a slight angle the wrong way. So for this, you can actually see, look, it's straight, but the umbrella's facing down there. If I was to put this in, a lot of people we'll probably put it in the other way because the way the trigger is.
Oh, I see.
So if you put it in the other way, then it would then be tilting the opposite way. Okay. Whereas where this is the right way to go in, and then when we angle it down, we're not angling it down as much, we're only doing a slight click. As where if it was facing the other way, you'd have to do 2 clicks to get it to this one position.